136 points, sorcery points, versus 112. But 5th level spell slot versus 4th level spell slots. Yeah, okay. So 15 level 5 spell slots. So right now we have 20. Let's make them 21, yeah. Brrr. My god, 90 damage. That was over 110, guys. Your damage would be effectively doubled. She's definitely dead. Hello guys and welcome. Today we're gonna be going through the Coffelock for the Darkness Party. Now this build is crazy good, guys. It can stack up to 140 sorcery points just from your spell slots. You could also use elixirs of arcane cultivation to boost your sorcery points even more and make even more spell slots, or some other items as well. So this is a crazy build and it's really fun and it does a lot of damage. It does take some time for preparation, but I feel like it's rewarding and it's as close as you can get to the actual Coffelock idea that exists in D&D. So early game, I recommend going for a Fiend Warlock and just getting 5 levels of Warlock so that you can get Fireball and you get your Eldritch Blast and you can have fun that way and you can be very useful. But as soon as you hit level 8 is where I think this build starts to really show off. So you get 3 levels of Warlock, 5 levels of Sorcerer, you get Fireball and Haste, you get your Pact of the Tome subclass, and now you're gonna have 2 level 2 spell slots that you can use to create sorcery points. Now let's talk about the final build that's gonna be in the late game. And then we're going to go through the process of how you can make a lot of sorcery points that you can use to create spell slots very effectively. Also, guys, if you enjoy the content, please drop a like, subscribe, comment on the video. It really helps with the algorithm and let me know what you want to see next. Late game, there's 2 variations of the build. There's the variation where you go 9 caster levels and 3 warlock levels, or 7 caster levels and 5 warlock levels. What is the main difference between these 2 builds? Well, as we just said, the Warlock, 3 levels of Warlock will give you 2 level 2 spell slots every short rest, whereas 5 levels of Warlock will give you 2 level 3 spell slots every short rest. So effectively, every short rest will give you 2 additional sorcery points. However, even though you will have more sorcery points, you will have you will have 4th level spell slots instead of 5th level spell slots, which is 1 less magic missile if you really think about it, and it does stack up on your damage. However, you're going to be able to go longer throughout the day. So how are we going to be able to make all those extra sorcery points and take those extra short rests? Because as you know, the game only allows for 2. Well, what we're missing out here is that if you have a bard in your party, they can use their ability Song of Rest, which will give every member on your party a short rest. And even though if you respect a character, you cannot use it again, this is an ability that you can only use once per long rest for every character. You do have 12 hirelings and is it 6-7 origin companions that you can use for this. The math starts to math at this point, because you have 12 hirelings and 6 origin companions. So that's 18 extra short rests you can take a day. And those short rests can be used to fuel your warlock spell slots. So let's talk about items a little bit. Well, races first. Let's talk about races a little bit. I do like going Githyanki for this build, because Githyanki will give you access to medium armor from level 1. Shield dwarves do that too. But Githyanki also get access to different unique items in the game and unique dialogues. I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 is more focused around Githyanki than Shield Dwarfs. This build, using an Origins character, I might be using it on Housing so that I can do that bonus action bear form, which after patch 3 scales very well with your level. Oh, well, also Lae'zel. Also Lae'zel is very good for this build because, again, she's a Githyanki. And a Githyanki is gonna get access to medium armor. So, also I need to talk about the level in Wizard. So, why do we get a level in Wizard? effectively you're going to be able to learn scrolls, and there's this really cool ability that you can learn in Act 3, which is basically a jacked up version of Magic Missile that we're going to be using a lot. And it does a lot of damage, Magic Missile. So let's demonstrate the damage it can do with this build. 129 damage. $100 damage. That was over 110, guys. So if you do go down the Illithid route, you don't have to use your sorcery points to quicken abilities or spells. You can just do it because you have permanent Mind Sanctuary. And if you're an Illithid and you have permanent Mind Sanctuary, right? You can do Porrillo Stakes. And then your damage would be effectively doubled. She's definitely dead. Also, if you enjoy the content, guys, please like and subscribe. It really helps. And yeah, let's go. Okay, so we're gonna be creating the sorcery points for both of them. So let's start with the 7-3 Warlock, see how that goes. 27 to 28 at this point. Not a big difference, right? Because this one has more levels, so she started with more sorcery points. Now let's take our first short rest. Alright guys, so let's continue with our plan. So as you can tell, every short rest we take, the 7-5 Warlock will get 2 more points. That actually makes a big difference over time. So now let's take a short rest. So she can do her thing. Give us spell slots to burn through to make sorcery points. Bam. Now she can Song of Rest. Create spell slot. Okay. Short rest again. Perfect. So yeah, sometimes you have to steal the money back. If you're broke, always confirm that you have used your Warlock levels, because so it's short of rest time, Song of Rest time. Let's get 6 more points. I do like keeping some first level spell slots for casting shield, the shield reaction, guys, because the shield reaction is gonna save your life a lot of times. 136 points, sorcery points, versus 112. But 5th level spell slot versus 4th level spell slot. Let's make the spell slots for... Yeah, okay. So 15 level 5 spell slots. Now, let's just make this for fun as well. With a quicken spell. Now, if you go Illithid down the future, guys, then definitely you don't need to worry about sorcery points, about saving sorcery points, because you're gonna be able to quicken with your permanent Mind Sanctuary. Yeah. So right now we have 20. And with spell slot creation and the sorcery point creation. Let's go and see how this build actually works. Let's make it work. Now, let's set up our combat, right? So how do we make this thing work? Let's look at the items first, okay? So, Psychic Spark Amulet, you can get it early on in Act 1. Callous Glow Ring, and this combines really well with the Coruscation Ring to apply radiant damage on every attack that you make. I like either Contour Mile or Darkfire Shortbow here to get the free haste. Then you get the Spell Sparkler from Act 1. Marco Heskir, this is in Act 3, so until then you can use other items, like the Falara Louvre that you can also get in Act 1. These gloves break the game, and the Gloves of Belligerent and Skies are a good substitute early on until you can get that. So let's see the damage for this. Alright, so let's check out the damage during the early game before you get the Spellmight gloves, right? So you're going to be wearing the Gloves of Belligerent and Skies. So this is possible near the end of Act 1, by the way. Okay, now why are the Spellmight gloves good in this build? Effectively, when you use magic missiles with this build, as you can see, the Spellmight gloves actually add damage on every missile that you make. So it's not D4s anymore, it's a D4 and a D8. And I like the Luminous Armor because it combos well with the radiant damage, so it makes sure that every target you hit near that target is actually going to get the radiant shockwave effect. And for cloaks, unfortunately there is not good cloaks for this build. I guess the Cloak of the Wolf is good, but it's good because it's good by itself. It doesn't really help you, because you don't roll to hit and you don't require spell save DC from the enemy. Now, I do really love the Helmet of Greed for this build. If you're below 50% hit points, you get an extra bonus action, and then you can use sorcery points to quicken spells with that. So you can quicken two magic missiles with your bonus action, and that's pretty good. Again, if you don't want to use sorcery points, or if you want to use all your sorcery points into spell slots, you can turn into an Illithid by the end of Act 2, before the end of Act 2, or at the end of Act 3, I guess. And then you won't have to use sorcery points, and you can use all of them to make level 5 spell slots. Most of the items are pretty essential. The only thing you can replace is the helmet with Pyro Quickness Hat. And effectively, what you would be doing here is you, instead of getting the bonus action at the start of your turn, right, when you're wearing the other helmet, so you would cast Fireball, and that would give you a bonus action, which you would use to quicken magic missiles at the highest level and kill everyone around you. So this build does crazy amounts of damage, guys. Just let me show you real. So how much was that, guys? As you can see, the numbers go crazy. Okay, damage testing time. So how much does this do? $100 damage. Let's try it again. That was over 110, guys.